Greetings and welcome to another edition of Coffee with Doug. With Christmas approaching, we celebrate God coming to earth in human form through his son, Jesus Christ. And today we are looking at the Magi. And we sing about the three kings from the Orient. I'm going to spare you the singing because you turn off this video right away. But the lyrics are, the first verse, "We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we traverse afar. Field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star." But what does the record actually show about these mysterious visitors, these Magi from the East? For that, we have to look at the Gospel of Matthew, the 2nd chapter. And who exactly are these men? They are being described as wise. It doesn't say they were kings, although it doesn't rule it out either. The record shows that they are from the East. It does not say how far. We tend to place them visiting Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus at the same time as the shepherds arrive. And if you look at the nativity scenes, that's what it shows. But that would have been an extremely chaotic evening if you had the shepherds and the wise men showing up at the same time. Actually, the visit was about 6 to 18 months after the birth of Jesus. Matthew says that they followed a star. It also describes Jesus as a child and not as a newborn at that time. If the star appeared the night Jesus was born, then these men recognized it as a unique event. They had to be familiar with the night sky, so they had to have some knowledge of astronomy. If they saw the star and came from the east, they'd have to prepare for their journey, and that would take some planning. So with camel being the means of transportation rather than cars at the time, I had to look at how far can a camel travel in a day. And an Arabian camel, which has 2 humps, can travel around 40 miles per day. I looked at the nearest countries to Israel, and if you head east, there's Iraq and then Iran. But for convenience, I looked at how far does it take a car to travel to Jerusalem from Baghdad, and the distance is 1,600 miles. So assuming the camel travels at 40 miles per day, it would take over a month to make that distance. The record shows that they went to Jerusalem to inquire about baby Jesus. It's logical that they went to Jerusalem because that was the city, the capital city of the Jews, and it also had the temple there. Herod the Great was ruler at the time, and he asked him the date when the star first appeared, and this will be significant later in another video. So the star apparently had vanished for a bit when they reached Jerusalem, but then when they continued on their journey, it reappeared. Now, Jerusalem is only 6 miles away from Bethlehem. Bethlehem is 6 miles south of Jerusalem, which is about a couple-hour walk. But the star, it says, appeared right over him. And so try to get an image of a bright star stopping and shining its light where Jesus was located. The Magi then presented gifts. And there are 3 gifts presented. So imagine Mary and Joseph with baby Jesus, and these men appeared, at least probably 2 or 3, followed by an entourage of people, and you begin to open your gifts. Mary, through visit of an angel, knew that Jesus was very unique. So she opens her first gift, and it's gold. Now, gold back then was a symbol of royalty. The next gift she opened was frankincense. Now, that was used for worship in the temple and a sign of divinity. So you have royalty and divinity represented. She then opens the third and final gift, and it's myrrh. Now, myrrh was used as a perfume, but it was also used to prepare bodies for death. And think of if you opened a gift today and someone presented gold to you, the frankincense, then also embalming fluid and a casket. You'd say, what on earth are they doing? But this foretold the death of Jesus. And in fact, if you looked at John chapter 19, when Jesus was finally buried and prepared for burial, they used 75 pounds of myrrh and other spices. It also says the Magi bowed down and worshiped the child as a king. Now, the typical sequence is you serve as prince for a while, and then when the king dies, you replace him. So think of the recent coronation of King Charles in England following the death of Queen Elizabeth. So he served as prince for many years, and then he became king. The Magi knew that Jesus was king from the birth, and they worshiped him as such. And as so, they knew exactly who he was from the beginning, that he was King of the Jews and Savior of the world, and therefore they were very wise. So with that, that's a little bit of twist and commentary on the Magi, and we'll see you next time for some more episodes.